Here we have Specialty Act, and Alyssa is having her first ride on him. He's probably had near a half a dozen post track rides at this point, and he's doing really well. And I just wanted to see him go from the ground, and I thought that Alyssa, was plenty ready to ride him. So this is basically a flat work ride with some poles thrown in. We're just getting him used to the idea of going over poles. So, of course, I feel like I said this a million times, so I'm awfully sorry if you're sick of hearing me say this, but we just warm up by letting him walk over everything, hopefully casually on a loose rein because we want it to be relaxed and no big deal, which he was very happy to do. I actually thought that in this ride, he really just looked so settled to me. He looked much steadier in the contact, and I thought he's moving great. I think his coat looks phenomenal. His weight looks good. I just think he looks like $1 million. He's such a gorgeous, classic looking thoroughbred to me. So all that was no big deal. Alyssa's getting more and more confident as she does more of these rides because she picked up the trot and just immediately started going over poles, which I thought was great. And he was, I mean, obviously, if he hadn't been ready, she wouldn't have. But he just started off like immediately. She picked up the reins, she asked him to trot, and he just made this beautiful shape. And he just carried on like that. And I just thought he looked fantastic. Seems to me that he's getting steadier in the contact, a little more secure about how to meet me at the end of the reins and hold the contact. I thought at the end of the ride wasn't very long. It was only about 20 minutes. And I rode him yesterday, again, for only about 20 minutes. But I guess in his defense, it is very hot and humid, and he comes from Indiana, so I'm sure there's a climate adjustment coming down here into the sweltering humidity. But he just, I think he got a little tired, which, was sort of funny because we just didn't really do that much. And it's not like he was wound up and expending extra energy. I thought this looked so nice right here. I love his frame and his shape. Anyway, so he got a little tired. So towards the end of the video, I think he starts getting a little low in the contact, and it's literally just because he was getting pooped. So now he'll have a nice weekend off. But I just love how smooth he looks, how relaxed he looks. He's carrying a really nice balance and rhythm. He looks really settled in the contact. I mean, I've thought that this horse is a lovely mover since, the first second I saw him trot in his jog video. So this ride was just lots of flat work with changing directions, trotting over poles, using the whole area of the ring. He was extremely rideable. He's always been a fairly rideable horse, but I just thought that today it just looked like anybody could just get on this horse and have a great ride. I had actually told Alyssa, well, she had ridden Chance before him, and Chance, I had her put some little tiny spurs on. And then when we were getting this horse ready, she said, should I take my spurs off or leave them on? And I said, oh, you can take them off. This horse is a bit more forward thinking. And then she gets on, and it's like, oh, actually could have used the little spurs. He was just so chill. What I like about him is that his movement is lovely. It's very easy to ride. It's beautiful to look at, but it's not overwhelmingly powerful. So he is very amateur friendly, and I think he would score really well on the flat because he has a really nice way of going, but it's not like powerful, like thrusting you out of the tack, making you feel like you need, like a really, really strong rider is not required. Again, I love this trot work right here that she's putting in with him. A little bit low here, or behind, I should say, not low. He was totally unimpressed by all the things we asked him to step over today. He's doing some really nice canter transitions. One thing that can be hard when you're first getting used to riding all these different thoroughbreds as they're just getting restarted is getting used to sitting. That took me actually quite a while to get used to. And of course, every horse is different. So some horses just don't really have the strength right away for you to sit on their backs, but most of them do. And with most of them, it actually helps to provide balance for them. So I was actually telling Alyssa to sit, but I completely understand that it takes a while to really like sort of feel comfortable sitting on the horse's back in the canter when they don't really quite understand the seat yet as an aid. But, you know, as people wiser than me have said to me, the only way to get them to understand the language is to speak the language. So then, of course, we turned it around to do a little canter work to the right. He's very even in his, you know, he bends nicely to the right, he's bending nicely to the left. Great quality canter both directions. The right canter transition is the only thing that's still not 100%. He will still, you know, he's like 50-50 on getting the right lead when we're going to the right, which is no big deal. I mean, half a dozen post-track rides, and that's my only complaint, which is not really a complaint at all. So I just wanted to leave this whole sequence in here so that you could see where he's at. He doesn't get upset when he picks up the wrong lead. He still does a nice transition. It's just not quite, you know, the shoulders aren't quite positioned correctly. So this is the second time she's asking, excuse me, having a hard time here. And then I asked her to just real quick come back to the trot and re-ask the question, and there you go. Then he got it. And he did a nice transition when he got it. And here, when she did the right canter, I thought she did a better job of sitting. But of course, now she's just more comfortable on him because she's cantered him to the left. And he's just going in the Hermspringer Duo, so real soft rubber straight bar. And that was it. Well, actually, that wasn't it. So after we rode, she took him for a walk, a hack around the field. Actually, yesterday when I rode him, I took him for a hack around the jump field. So we got to walk through there and down the driveway. And so today he went for a hack around the backfield. And of course, he was wonderful. I mean, look at him. He's completely unfazed. And at the end of the video, there's just some footage of him on cross ties, what he's like on the ground.